There we go.
Thank
Cool.
you.
So yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit more like why, how you found us and kind of what you want to do with this information.
Yeah. So it's just us as interviewers. Like it's not. I'm just gonna post it to my YouTube page, so you guys, everybody has access as far as like you and me. One, two, three.
Mhm.
Like if you guys say, hey, this was a great conversation, I post it unlisted always first, but if you guys give me the permission, then I will post it public. But it's more so you guys being able to share your story about like how you guys started, how you guys grown, and then how you survived the pandemic. It's
Mhm.
case study material. Because I've learned that there were strategies that worked in my business and other businesses that I've taught to and that I've shown different strategies and they survive. Not
Mhm.
everybody survived. And what I learned is a lot of businesses actually didn't understand the revenue and profits aspect of their business. 13 million coming in, $500,000 in debt at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And like it's super common. And everybody's picking up loans and not generating off of profits to grow and scale their business. So, for you guys for and value for you guys being here, I wanted to give you guys free access to my e-learning platform for you to check out because I shared all these strategies that I helped and used for my business to stay and grow. I put it on a platform and I'm
Mhm.
saying, hey, I use these and I want other business owners to never go through this again. So you guys will get free access. I already have your emails, but from there, like that's all I need. I just need the email so I can plug you guys into the system. That's it. But yeah, so floor is yours if that answers your questions or if you guys had anything else.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. Excellent. Okay, so we started our business because we're both talented and didn't want to work for corporations anymore. So um, we actually started because I was a graphic designer and Steve was a web developer, and I guess we still do those things for the most part. But we met each other, decided to get married, decided to make a website for our wedding, and that actually got picked up by Utah Bride and Groom and kind of went some places. And we're like, maybe we should do this, right? And then, so at the time, Steve was working for a small startup doing insider threat management, which is super security stuff.
Yep.
And they were sold to Raytheon. So he went from being like the fifth person hired to being one of 90,000. And
Right.
there's actually two Steve Sawayas at Raytheon at the time, which is bonkers.
Super what
Yeah.
rare.
Right. And so our Steve Sawaya would get messages that say like, hey, we're going to deliver a pallet of missiles. Like, no, don't send those to me. I can, like, I
Oh
can
my
use
God.
those. Yeah. So he, that was going into that big company. He was just kind of like, I don't know. And so he decided to quit his job and stay home and play video games. And getting on this all right.
Eve, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, she's being honest, so maybe I do have to put this unlisted.
And that lasted for about 2 weeks. And then
Hmm.
a friend of ours was like, hey, will you build a website for me? And so Steve started it, and then he said, hey, come help me. And I was like, all right. So I left my job in fintech and we kind of made the leap and haven't looked back since. So that was about 16 years ago. So been here
Wow.
for a long time. Yep.
Okay. Look, see,
And
then you longevity there. Go ahead, Steve. I know you're
that
about to
was
say
right
something.
before the 2008 recession.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were
Best time to
able,
start a business.
exactly, right? You guys were able to withstand not one, but two
Yeah.
truly life-changing events for a lot of businesses and a lot of
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
I remember people losing their homes just
Mhm.
because of that. And then you guys are in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So so I was actually in Utah when I was talking to one of my mentors for trading, and he was mentioning like how much The Big Short was the movie was such a great movie because like they called it right, and like people weren't paying attention. Like okay, no doc loans and all this information. So it's when you have insider information and then you can like be ahead of the game, it works
Mhm.
phenomenally for everybody who's aware. So my very first book that I give out for free as an audio book and an ebook format is called It Could Happen to You. What I talked about in that was, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I love God. So God gave me some prophetic information, and He said, "Hey, talk about you losing your mother, talk about you losing your job, talk about you losing your home, talk about you losing your money, talk about you not having purpose and not living for it. But even though you were very successful, right? Because I was a millionaire and everything, had tons of success. And when I realized I did not get any fulfillment out of it, like there was nothing. I felt empty. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, 100% honest. I contemplated committing suicide. That's when my relationship with God started. Because he was like, "Don't do that," and then I was like, "Okay, I give my life to you. Like anywhere you want me to be, anything you want me to say, anything you want me to do, I'm yours, 100%." And yeah, that book. Then it was 2016. Lo and behold, who didn't lose family members? Who didn't lose their job? You know, like you guys have a business, but there was businesses that had to literally let people go because they couldn't, right? Not then we know about the vaccine and stuff, forcing people to do it, or they lose their job because they had, the business had government contract, just things like that. And I'm like, wow, if these businesses knew the strategies that I shared, wow, that would have looked a lot different. The world would look a lot different.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to reach out to you two successful business owners, right? All right, branding, messaging, website development, all of that, copywriting, like just putting out a digital message as far as like the visuals. Think about it. If there's something powerful that needs to get distributed everywhere, media is the best form of communication because you have so many ways to deliver it: audio, video format, or text. So you're hitting all the ways of different learning styles. And so, with that being said, I was like, I need to talk to business owners who get what I'm saying and then see what kind of collaborations we could do. You guys share your information. Who do we help? How do we grow? How do we be of benefit and value to each other? So that's why I reached out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, we talk a lot about that when we see, newer people starting businesses, and there are, 10 early mistakes you can make that will haunt you for the rest of your life.
Yes.
And, if you can just get out ahead of those, you can do everything yourself except for your accounting and your contracts, right? One accountant, one lawyer, you're good to go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And even, I'm not gonna lie, I tell people have multiple, have backups. And don't be scared to have like a team of advisors for legal, a team of advisors, because and now everybody's checking. There's artists, like actual musicians, that they had an accountant that they trusted, or a celebrity, and then that person was funneling money out their accounts the entire time. I think Steve Harvey was the latest to say that he had. I know Rihanna, she had that happen to her. So, but when people don't know in their businesses, like they are like Steve Harvey, a businessman. He is a man that's a business. Also, Rihanna, businesswoman. She got her Fenty line. Like it's things like that where people need to be aware of how to run their business and understand their numbers, their communications, how they, their contacts, who they have around them, because it could burn them. It can truly burn them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, for you guys, like, what's next?
Yeah,
I wanted to ask.
it was interesting. I love you were talking about, with what we do, we have such an ability to have a platform and to share what's important to us, right? That's one thing we talk a lot about as designers, and especially UX people who are building products, is you have a hand in shaping the experiences of people, and you can get people to do kind of what you want them to do. And that is an important thing that you have to take control of, and you have to really be the advocate for the user. So the big thing we're working on right now is we're just talking about accessibility a lot, looking at that throughout the web. Completely unrelated to the pandemic, I went deaf during the pandemic in one ear. And so that's been a totally new, interesting thing around accessibility and what it takes. And for me, one of the greatest things is that everything's on Zoom now. And that means I can control the volume, I can turn on closed captioning, there's all these things. Beautiful. So that's, going back to like, what is your message and what are you promoting is, we're trying to really take this accessibility look and say, if you do the things that make a website accessible, not only is that great, keeps you out of legal trouble, it's ethically correct, but it also means that your SEO is going to go up and your user experience is going to go up. So when you do the right thing in the right way, there's all these other things that start to happen when you do it. So that's kind of where we focus. There's a lot of design firms out there that could be like, we're getting into the newest thing in JavaScript. And it's like, well, that's fantastic, but like, great, that's a skill, that's wonderful. I use Excel sometimes too, but like, let's talk about like, what's the message? What can you do as a group? So that's been important to us. The other big thing is the way that we run our employees has been very different for us. So we're very different company on the inside. Similar to you, I went from making a 6-figure salary where like, I don't even think about it, to like making about, I don't know, 20% of that. And we made the decision when we rebooted into Anchor and Alpine to do, we have lower salaries here. It's just a part of it. But we have amazing profit sharing. And so that happens every quarter. So our employees, the harder they work, the more money they make. Right now, they're all on a super deal that they're working a few extra hours and they're all getting a little bonus and an extra day off to get this project finished. And then we really put our money back into our employees. We do a lot of mentoring. We do a lot of, our insurance is phenomenal. We have life insurance. We have all these things that you wouldn't normally see in a small business. Because I think kind of similar to the route you took, we had been doing this for a long time. I got this opportunity to actually leave our business for a couple of years, move to San Francisco, help oversee an artificial intelligence startup. And I made an insane amount of money and it was wonderful. But very much like you were saying, at the end of the day, it was who was the biggest brawler in the boardroom, who was the loudest arguer, and walking out of that and to walk away from that kind of money and that kind of lifestyle was very interesting. But now the life that we have back, working with shorter hours, being with amazing people, I mean, it's phenomenal. So
yeah, it's freedom. Like I said, for me, my relationship with God is definitely intact, and I use the Bible. It's not religion. It's more just principles, rules, promises, and laws, right? And so we know like a law like gravity, right? I believe in the law of reciprocity. It's a universal law. So the more I give, the more I'll receive back. And so, you guys are giving to your employees and look at the effort. They're willing to stay with you guys and even work for a lower amount, which, hey, you guys are not like you guys are now in relationship with me. Working for a lower amount. Look, you guys' business, what you're doing, even on the accessibility end. I mean, come on now. How important is your toe, like like the thumb, right? Your big toe, when you're hearing like breathing out of nostrils, like how important is that when you don't have access to it anymore? When you realize, whoa, I just lost something that I didn't know was this important. Like, my God, like it opens your mind, but then guess what? I think that uncomfortability is where creativity flows from. Because now you're gonna like, wow, if I have this problem, who else has this problem? And I say, whoever sees a problem, it's because you were meant to solve it. And I am so proud of you two for taking, the jump at actually solving a problem that nobody else is addressing. And if they aren't addressing it, or if they are addressing it, they're not addressing it like you guys are. Everybody is unique, and you guys are delivering your quality, your perspective, your values, and your integrity to every project. And I love that. I don't like to work with low quality people. I'm all about high quality, and integrity is everything to me. Because now, like I said, especially if we were to like collaborate or anything, it just matters, right? Because now my name, my brand is being represented by you guys, and what if anybody I recommend to you. So I just I think that's so important. So I love what you guys are doing, and you you didn't share, right? You shared a little bit on the accessibility front, but like overall goals, like what, like even personal, right?
Yeah.
Business, right? Overall goals, like where do you guys want to see yourselves in the next 5 years? Like where do you guys want to be? And then is there anything that's stopping you? Because I know that one thing is like having a mastermind group, you'll never know who could be in the room with you that knows how to solve that problem or has had that same problem and then has a solution or the
Yeah.
contact. So
Yeah. Yeah. Steve, where would you say?
That's an excellent question.
he wants to play more video games. I'm just throwing that out there.
You would think. But I don't think so.
No, not anymore these days. I'm too busy for them, really. But
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way.
my goal is always to get us away from straight service revenue like we've been in and develop a few more lines of revenue that are a little more hands off.
Okay. So, what I've noticed is a lot of CEOs is they work in their business, not on their business.
Yeah.
And so, what I've been able to do is have it step away. So even when Amber, like my assistant, reached out to you, you returned the call.
Mhm.
My system told me that you returned the call. I had all your information because, I told my assistant. I reached out, Steve contacted, we were able to schedule. It was a whole process, but I'm like, it's working perfectly.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's working perfectly. Now, guess what? I get to have fun conversations like these while I have people that I work with doing all my work,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
doing all my work so I can stay free to just be positive light and energy to everybody that I come in contact with and just make people feel good and be a resource to them. So, with that being said, the system that I'm going to give you guys access to tells you how to do the exact same thing. It worked for me. It's definitely going to work for you guys and draw your business. Every business that I worked with, partnered with, collaborated with, whatever it may be, when I give them access to the system, and of course, I'm gonna, if you ever have any deficiency areas, I'll point you in the direction of my contacts too. It like helps you see how you can generate an extra, at minimum, at minimum, $100,000 in recurring revenue annually, recurring revenue. And I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna be guys. I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest with you? It's
Yeah.
not revenue. It's profits. It's actually profit.
Mhm.
So at minimum, whatever your gross profit margin is, gross the net profit margin, whatever that is, I'm so confident in what I do that it will deliver an extra $100,000 in profit and reoccurring annual revenue. So case studies, right?
Mhm.
When you show your beautiful website, right? And we're waving. So like when you guys show your website and things like that to like let's say a Microsoft, let's say they're saying, okay, cut the check
Mhm.
because you know what you're doing. You were able to go from the smaller scale, and they're like, oh yeah, you guys offer way more value. We were trying to work on something AI, right, where it talked about accessibility or something like that, and we weren't able to, but you guys are already doing. So look, we'll use our resources in a different way, and you guys can take that over. Right? But it's showing value to the workplace of where the market is lacking.
Mhm.
So, I answered, I mean, you guys answered all my questions. I asked all my questions.
Mhm.
I want to show you guys the platform real quick. So,
Okay.
is it allowed for me to share my screen? Yes, it
Yeah. Yeah.
is.
You should be able to.
All right. So, go. All right. So, you guys can see my screen. So, let's
Not yet.
just
There we
say,
go. Yep. Cool.
all right. So, let's just say that I'm just gonna show you guys like a quick synopsis of how I'm telling everybody, yes, this works for everybody. Let's just
Mhm.
say a business, small business, making $30,000 in revenue. Revenue, okay? 30% profit, gross profit margin, 20% net profit margin, US dollars, right? We could change the
Mhm.
numbers, but let's literally work with the kind of the worst case scenario, right? COVID in in all of the strategies that I teach, I'm just gonna say that they increase by 10%. That's minimal. Like usually I'm helping businesses grow by 50% or more in every strategy that I share with them. Okay? So with that being said, after they implement everything, all the strategies, all of these are like free strategies, by the way. Cost cutting, right? Knowing where your money's going, showing how to share how you're different than all your competitors, right? Making a compelling offer, right? No, it's free. Like, jump in. I love it. Increasing your prices to match the value that you give, right? Upselling and cross selling. So if somebody, you notice they need something else and you have access to it, cool. Bundling, downsell, oh, I can't afford this price. All right, cool. Well, we have this package here that works for you. Let's
Mhm.
use it. You're not getting out my door. You're still gonna actually buy something because I'm gonna make sure I show you the value to everything. Additional products and services, things that you notice that you can come up with, create with. You guys are creative, love it. Drip campaigns, following up with everybody. Anybody that even thinks about looking at Anchor Alpine, you follow up with them. They Anchor. They yeah, okay, I got it right. SEO, click, but yeah, they you just follow up with them. And then alliances and joint ventures, collaboration, so everybody wins. That's what the WOW actually stands for. We only win. But anyways,
Nice.
so more leads, right? Generating more leads that leads to more conversions. How many times in all of these things that I just talked to you about did we go digital? Did we talk anything about media at all?
Right. Not at all.
Not at all. So then when we put in the digital marketing aspect, it's only going to grow from there. Now, did I keep my promise of $100,000 in profit? Like,
Potentially.
well, like if you guys look at the screen right here,
Yeah.
this company that made 30,000,
Right. Right.
did I keep my promise?
Not quite, but close enough.
No, I'm actually way off. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm way off. Right? $21,000 in profit. They were a $30,000 company. They made 21,000 in profit. So I pretty much doubled their revenue plus some. Not bad, but still, that puts my integrity in question because guess what? I did not deliver what I promised. I don't like that. So, what I got to do is actually deliver on what I promised. So, we talk about content marketing, website optimization, email marketing, search engine optimization, accessibility. I could add that to there. Digital advertising, right? And just working out strategies, how to build policies, procedures, referral systems, talking about publicity and PR, direct mail campaigns, advertising in all formats the correct way that gets people to understand that there is value there. Making sure we're following up and increasing the close rate. Sales teams, hiring those people that do what they're supposed to do. They don't sell, they tell. They inform of the value and they answer questions. Customer service at its finest. Setting more appointments, increasing every customer's frequency of purchase, right? Making sure we have everything documented through training materials and getting more orders fulfilled. And oh, by the way, remember I mentioned Microsoft? Hey, you're going to start dealing with higher end decision makers. Now let's see what profits that generated for that $30,000 company.
Nice.
Now, did anything that I shared with you guys sound unrealistic?
I think there's some pieces for us that might be, but not overall. I mean, we're a small team and we want to actually keep it that way. So that's kind of an interesting thing when we look at how do we drive more revenue without adding too many more bodies, right? Because after 13, you don't have people, you have resources.
That I 100% understand, and that's where you start outsourcing, right? You build up contacts so you guys can stay small, but you know that there's certain tasks that you need done, you get them done. And
Mhm.
that's what I do. I have people that I work with, but there's people I outsource to that I fully trust their capabilities and I love them. All
Mhm.
right. So with that being said, you guys, I just want to walk you through that. See, 30,000 turned into 366,000. And even though you said, hey, some of the strategies don't work, I'm sure somewhere along the line, the $100,000 in profit still work, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, for you guys, just example, when I give you guys access, this is, hold on, let me just click to the dashboard so you guys see as soon as you log in, what it will happen. So I log in and then I click on dashboard and a video is going to pop up. It's going to explain how my platform works out. Okay.
Mhm.
If you ever need to visit that video again, it's right here. All right. So there are main areas that I'm going to walk you through just real quick so you can see what's in this. More leads. Like, can you tell me, all right, I need a confirmation verbally, yes or no? Do businesses need more leads?
Yes.
Do they need to make more conversions out of those leads?
Normally we're close to what we can tolerate, but yes.
Right,
Yes.
right. But I'm not just mentioning you guys because these are going to be people you're working with as well.
Right.
All right. So more conversions. right?
Mhm.
More transactions, right? Like I call it the Netflix effect. Instead of charging somebody one time for one service, you put them on a subscription service so you can always predict your revenue
Mhm.
and your profits. Okay. So more transactions, 12-month breakout. Higher prices because you're offering so much value, accessibility, new area, new product market, whatever it may be. Higher prices now, but it's justified. Netflix effect. Netflix raised their prices and didn't necessarily justify why they did it. And
Mhm.
yeah, they got a lot of subscribers who were pissed off. We don't want that to happen. We want to know where we can tolerate how much we can raise our prices by, but our customers are going to determine that. Okay, more profits. And last but not least, for those that do want to scale and grow, $1 billion business. And then, sometimes we do have creatives or people that really like, I just want to create. I don't want to sell. Cool. Well, we teach you how to tell, not sell. And, all of these things work. By the way, a lot of business owners don't know how to manage their business as well as far as the numbers go. So
Mhm.
when they walk into their actual CPA or somebody that's on their financial team, right? I think they should understand a profit and loss statement. I think they should know how to increase their revenue. I think they should know what costs of goods sold are and how to lower those.
Mhm.
Build out vendor relations and get discounts or sets things apart with net 30, net 60, and beyond. Um, Different ways to lower overhead, how to build a P&L, right? And then the business's potential. And then, some people actually do want to do ads on like Facebook and Google and all that stuff. It's like, how much can you actually afford to spend so you can still make a profit, right? All this information is there. So, and last but not least, well, there's definitely a lot more. I just want to say that, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys. Um, this is the thing that kicks off everybody. So this is my gift to you guys. Like, I want you guys to have access to this. But the customized roadmap, it goes through questions. And so with the questions, you just answer them for your business. And then once you actually answer all these questions, and we can do it together if you want to or need to or whatever, or if you guys got it on your own, perfectly fine. But what it's going to do if you answer all the questions and hit analyze is going to generate a customized roadmap specific for you. And it tells you what areas to focus on first and foremost, right? So for me, like I already entered in for my business, I needed to focus on more leads. How do I get those more leads? Then you would think, oh, he needs to convert more leads. Nope. Once those leads talk to me, they're like, I love you. So I don't need to focus on conversions because I'm pretty good with those.
Mhm.
I needed to focus on, hey, I have a really giving heart. Uh, I need to generate more profits. So I had to come up with creative ways to generate more profits, right? Higher prices. I, I used to do relationship consulting. I was charging $150 per hour,
Mhm.
and my clients would not pay me. I raised my prices to $500 an hour, and my clients started paying me.
Mhm. Yep. We've
What?
been there.
You
Yep.
see,
Yeah.
more value,
Mhm.
perception. I love it. And I was saying the same stuff both
Mhm.
times. It's
Yeah.
just they perceived value. They valued it more. Then more transactions. This is mine, but you guys get it right here.
Mhm.
So, of course, like I said, I'm going to give you guys access to that as a gift for you guys sharing such valuable information with me. And yeah,
Okay.
I love you guys. And, this has been amazing speaking to you both. Any business owner that you know that needs to actually benefit from that, I am giving them free access as well. So all I would need is their name, number, and email so I can plug them into the system to give them the access.
Okay.
But that's it.
Okay.
So did y'all have any more questions? I love learning everything from you guys. And I want to stay in contact. So
Mhm.
just letting you know that.
Yeah. Excellent. I don't have any questions. Do you, Steve?
I mean, I'm curious about what you were doing before you lost all your money. And
So Fortune 500 companies. So I worked for FedEx Ground headquarters. I'm an engineer by degree.
nice.
Also worked for PepsiCo on the leadership track. now I actually work for Southwest Airlines. So I love traveling. And
Yeah.
I actually want to
Helps.
travel. I want to travel around the world. I said, hey, I could buy a private jet, or I could just actually get access to a company that can fly me
Yeah.
around the world for free. All I have to do is actually work in their business to grow their business. So I'm actually on the leadership team for Southwest.
Nice.
So that's what it's all about, right? If I'm an asset to people, I get access to things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I come in, it's not just me, it's Holy Spirit, it's God, it's Jesus, all coming with me saying, yes, operate out of love. Love is the greatest currency, it's way better than money, can buy you things that money can never buy. And I'm
Mhm.
all about relationships. So
Yeah. We
thank
only
you.
do
That's a
things for
great
love or
question.
money. So
What you say?
we only do things for love or money. And that is a phrase that we have said to clients, because if they come to us and they have an amazing project and we're like, oh my gosh, I love you, I love your project, I love what you're going to put into the world. You maybe don't have quite the budget, so let's work it out. But if you have like another, tech SaaS company and you're like, oh, but we need it to be cheaper. I'm like, oh, that's a money play, not a love play, my friend. So yeah.
I love it. See, you know how to maneuver and you know the conversation and what direction it needs to go in. So yeah, that's phenomenal. I love what you just said. And I got to take that for myself.
Yeah,
Strategies, right?
go for it. Go for it. Well, it was excellent meeting you and spending a little bit of time with you.
Yes.
Just very joyous and fantastic to meet you.
Look, it's been a pleasurable time. For the actual interview, can you just make sure you send that recording to me? So again, are you guys okay with it being posted on my YouTube?
I think so. Are you okay, Steve? We didn't see
Yeah.
anything PII or anything. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay,
All
I'll
right.
pass it over to you.
I love
Okay,
it. Thank you so much,
excellent.
y'all.
Thanks, Will. All
Take it
right, see ya.
easy. I'll talk
Good
to
to
you
meet you.
later.
Bye-bye.